What up, guys? Today we are using the power sword on the assault class, and I have heard that this weapon recently had a shadow buff. Apparently the power sword has like a 1 point extra multiplier for the ground slam. From what I've read, I've seen that the power sword had like a 4 times damage bonus with the ground slam, something like that, and it went from 4 to 5. So, and see how see how it performed. Here I really should have the extra cooldown, but yeah, I guess I just missed that. But yeah, regardless, we weren't really jumping into this operation to get really sweaty. This is lethal, so at the very least, I am looking to make sure that I can level up from this. But still, going into this mode, we were basically just trying to try out the power sword, and we are using a balanced power sword. If you've noticed my prestige perks, I do have Duelist, so the balanced power sword is actually pretty nice with Duelist, and as long as I'm able to get, the gun strikes, I'm in a pretty good spot to defend myself with a balanced power sword. Normally, I use a fencing one, so bringing out the balanced weapon, I was a little bit nervous about. I wasn't too sure how it was going to perform, but yeah, by the end of this operation, I was very, very happy with the power sword on the assault class. And yeah, I'm aiming to get some slams. That's what we want to do here. We want to try to see if slamming with the power sword is any better now that it maybe has been shadow buffed. I guess at the very least I should leave it up to you guys to let me know if that's confirmed, if the power sword is slamming a little bit better. But from what I've noticed within this match, yeah, right there, it's like a power sword slam, and then a couple shots. And not to mention, with my ground slam specifically in this video, it's not like I have a lot of buffs. Right now, ground slam's getting like a 10% extra damage bonus. These are lethal enemies, so being able to slam down on a major and then finish them off with a couple headshots, that actually puts the power sword in a pretty good position when it comes to slams. Unfortunately, I obviously don't have the 100% extra ground slam for a single target. We are trying out the power sword basically in its base form, in a sense, for the ground slams here. Now, still it's Relic, and yes, we're on lethal. Making sure that we can make a good push here is going to be key to really figuring out how strong this weapon can be. And yes, overall, with the gun strikes capability and the fact that I have the Duelist prestige perk, you're able to get a lot out of the power sword right now with the assault class. For whatever reason, I guess I just like doing power whirls more with the bulwark. Oh, there's a big slam right there, and a big gun strike into executionable status. That really puts the power sword in a good spot. Now, with all that said, I'm not 100% sure where the power sword's breakpoints were at before the supposed shadow buff. I'm not 100% sure if the devs, maybe this was a buff for the power sword that they had in the game and just forgot about it. Ooh, there's a power whirl. Oh, also, if you saw the team perks there, we have a fair amount of extra damage for range damage, so I'm really not working with them much when it comes to melee attacks here. But yeah, any sort of slam buff that the power sword received, for me, it's going to be kind of hard to identify completely what the buff was. But yeah, from what I've read, also, wow, look at those red bars at the top right there, very surprising. From what I've read, the power sword basically was shadow buff for slams, only slams. It was not like, there was not like a shadow buff for the damage. Apparently, if the devs are really able to basically single out a weapon for ground slam buffs, I feel like we should do that more often. I feel like the ground slam in general is kind of like not the best when it comes to these heightened difficulties. Now, this is lethal. The ground slam is going to be fine here. And yeah, playing around this Neurothrope is definitely pretty interesting. Luckily, I was able to find an aisle right there just to get into the Neurothrope's face and get some heavy bolt pistol shots. The scan was huge. So, dude, we melted this Neurothrope on lethal pretty fast, which was nice. I went in there for the execution. I don't know, I just saw it. And my teammates were kind of hyped on it too, for whatever reason. They're just sitting there spamming for the Emperors. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Honestly, I've been having a lot of fun with the game. I'm very happy that the Power Sword feels really good with the Assault class. I think if you consider some of the new weapons some of these classes got, the Assault definitely made out pretty well, you know, with the Plasma and the Power Sword, which is very, very good. It's definitely better than the Heavy Bolt Rifle on the Heavy. But yeah, so from what I've noticed with the Power Sword, by the end of this operation, I've noticed that it is a little bit more reliable to slam with. So definitely being able to, you know, get some good ground slam perks going with the Power Sword, I can imagine that will help out quite a bit. But yeah, for right now, the reason why this is on console, and, you know, the reason why I'm playing this under-leveled Assault class right now is because for whatever reason, I think connection issues are kind of more finicky on PC, but guys, I seriously don't understand what's going on with the connection with this game. I am going to be making a video before this video comes out talking about it, because yeah, it's just not good. It's just not good. But I'm still pretty happy. Oh, that was an overkill, by the way. That's a pretty good indication on the Power Sword slams. But yeah, it's like we get something cool like the Power Sword on the Assault class, and then like the devs kind of put themselves into a corner as soon as, you know, we start to notice that the connection issues are still pretty bad on certain systems, I think, maybe. But yeah, well, again, I'm going to go more in depth to that in the video before this one. Honestly, it should be the video directly before this one. But yeah, regardless, when we're playing with the Assault class, making sure that we have some teammates that can help us out with range damage is definitely pretty important. So we do have a sniper and a tactical here, which is nice. This is pretty good for random teammates to make sure that I have my back covered. But yeah, if there's not team perks for some sort of survivability for the Assault class, I still think team perks that increases the range damage actually kind of help out the class, because then I am, you know, going to be able to take out like zone thropes and all that sort of all those sort of issues that the Assault normally runs into with range damage. Yeah, just having a little bit of more range damage kind of helps out. I will admit though, it does seem like aligned aim isn't doing a lot when it comes to hard siege mode. You're definitely just better off with grenades. But yeah, I just want to make sure I can level up this class as well. Even though I'm kind of testing out some different systems to see how the connection issues respond, overall, I just want to make sure I can get the Assault class up to like level 25. I just did some runs with hard siege mode Assault, and you know, I keep talking about it because that's the one thing I wanted to do with hard siege mode, and I got this disconnected at wave 12. And that's my time there, which is unfortunate. Seriously, like this is why I'm going to try my best to level up the Assault on PS5 as well. But as far as I know, connection issues are across the board, I think. So we will see, guys. We will see. But yeah, as far as is the Power Sword shadow buffed, it does feel like it slams 10% better than it did, and I think that's pretty much what the commenters were talking about when it comes to the Power Sword. It was a post. It was a very quick post, or it was a small post that only had like 3 or 4 comments to it or something. And it was like, did the Power Sword get shadow buff because it looks like it does more damage? I don't know what they did to figure that out. Like, they maybe looked into the code, but they had the exact multiplier. They said it had like a 4 times multiplier for ground slams or something, and then, yeah, with the shadow buff, it's 5 times, which I assume that would make sense, considering that I honestly think, I'm estimating, especially even after watching this footage, I'm estimating that it's slamming about 10% like stronger, which I think kind of tracks. Now, here's the thing. I do use ample ammunition quite a bit. So whenever I use a slam or a jetpack dodge, I get like 50% extra more range damage. And I think that also helps out the breakpoints that I'm experiencing in this video. But also I had some really good teammates. I didn't really run into anything that like stuck me into a corner or anything like that. But yeah, it is lethal. I didn't want to jump into Absolute with an under-leveled Assault class trying to see if the Power Sword was shadow buffed or not. But yeah, to me, it definitely feels like it was a little bit tougher. I did try the... See, here's the thing. I did try the Power Sword in patch 7, but I didn't try it too much. But yeah, see, we got a couple slams, and we were still able to get like 5,000 damage. I did join this one a little bit late. But yeah, overall with lethal, it was a pretty good test for the Power Sword to see if it was like shadow buffed. And yeah, I mean, as far as what I tested there, it's about 10% stronger.